In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 things you're doing that's stopping your back pain getting worse. If you can cut those out straight away, you're going to do an awful lot better. So, number 1, back pain down here is invariably caused by some sort of injury to these smaller segments, the discs, the little ligament and tendon structures in here in this small space, and you've overstrained them in some way, shape or form. It could be a whole host of different things. But what that does is that causes inflammation down here. Whether it's a slip disc, bulging disc or herniated disc, whether it's just some more minor muscle or ligament or tendon pain, around here you can get that band type pain across the back, sometimes going into the glutes, and sometimes if it hits the right little nerve, you go all the way down the leg and be full-blown sciatica. But the number 1 mistake people are making is using heat in the wrong area. Now if you'd sprained your ankle, you wouldn't go and put heat on the ankle. Pop ice on there to calm the inflammation down so your body can go through the necessary recovery period. You do a few other bits and pieces as well, but you would use ice on the injury, and that is principle number 1. Stop using heat. The problem with the lower back, and the reason heat's sometimes recommended, is because the muscles go into spasm, which invariably make the problem worse, and this is why muscle spasm is probably one of the most common misdiagnoses when you go to your GP or see someone. Yeah, it's just muscle spasm, you'll be okay. The muscles are not the problem, so using heat over this area, sleeping on your back with a heat pad is not helpful. Instead, using ice here for 3 to 5 minutes to calm down that inflammation, and doing that a couple of times each day for a period of days will help get a handle on the inflammation. The injury is the main problem down here, not the muscles over the top. They make it worse. Focus on the injury. That's the most important thing here. Think about how much your ankle might swell up if you're injured. You look down 1 minute, it's normal, the next is the size of a balloon. Well, that happens here in these tiny little spaces, and we've got bony landmarks here that cause a finite space for that nerve to be in. Even a little bit of inflammation there can really cause a lot of irritation of that sciatic nerve and give you that pain down the leg. Ice, always on the lower back, 3 to 5 minutes, a couple times a day, works fantastically for our patients. The second thing, your disc is like a little jam donut. If you squash it on the front, the jam goes to the back. Squash it on the back, the jam goes to the front. And the important concept and the importance of that particular principle cannot be understated when we're talking about disc-related problems, slip discs or disc injuries that cause the sciatica, cause the back pain, etc. People too many times are doing these forward bending exercises, hugging their knees, bending to touch their toes, and what it does is it squashes on the front of the donut and drives the jam towards the back and does that sort of thing there. The reason it's advised is because it opens the size of that hole, and if the hole gets bigger, the pressure decreases. It's not helping the underlying issue. And again, if you're watching this video, it probably hasn't helped you thus far, so I'd probably kick it to the side. Instead, we need to focus on different ranges of motion, and we'll talk about that in some of our other videos. So avoid the forward bending, none of this sort of stuff, it's not helpful. The third one is focusing on where the symptoms are rather than where the problem is. One of the things with lower back pain is you commonly get the pain down here. And you say, oh, there's damage to the bone down here. Patients often find that because some of these joints here will refer pain a little bit lower than where they are. And patients say, oh, it hurts here. That's not where the problem is, or it hurts here, or it hurts here. If there's no problem with the underlying muscle there, it's invariably a referral or an inappropriate response. And the amount of patients that come in saying, oh, I had piriformis syndrome or something like that and it didn't get better, or they worked on my piriformis or they worked on my hamstrings and it didn't resolve, it's because you're not treating the problem. You're not treating where the injury is in this section of the lower back. You're focusing somewhere else, and that's not helpful either. So if you can focus more on where the problem is, you can get a better outcome. That's why I say use the ice here. There's absolutely no problem with using heat elsewhere on the muscles because it's not going to interfere with where the problem is. So that's another important principle. If we go one step back to just that example of bending forwards again, the easiest way for you to think about it might be if you cut your elbow. If you've got a cut on your elbow, it's notoriously difficult for those to heal compared to like a cut on your arm. Because what happens is when you're laid in bed, your arm here, the skin's nice and relaxed, it starts to knit together. Then you bend your elbow to put your arm in your sleeve and it rips the scab open again. Well, that's what you bending forwards is doing. The tissues on the back of those discs are trying to knit back together overnight. You bend forwards first thing in the morning, hug your knees, you rip it back open again, we're back to square one again. So try and avoid those forward bending movements. I've gone back to point number 2 because I can't stress it enough. It makes a massive difference for patients when we get them doing the right stuff alongside treatment. But ultimately, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you've had this for a longer period of time, or it's just not resolving and you've resorted to YouTube or Facebook to try and find a solution to your back pain. If you are in the London area, then do please click the link somewhere underneath here or the button, and that'll take you to a website page where you can read a little bit more about the clinic, our unique approach to these sorts of things, why we do operate the way we operate, why we can help these sorts of conditions, and then you can make an inquiry from there. There's a short little survey at the bottom so you can find out if treatment's just right for you, and then one of our team will be able to get in contact with you and really get things moving and get this back pain fixed, get you through that or out of that initial sort of painful process into the right sort of rehab at home, and then off and recovering and doing the sort of things you want to do. So hope this video has been helpful. Remember, hit the link somewhere below if you are watching this as an advert rather than just on normal YouTube, and we look forward to speaking for you soon. Thanks for watching.